The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let me just say, after viewing distorting the belt, they're proclaiming the real world champion. I'm going to tell you all, with a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment in my life. When you walk around this world and you tell everybody you're number one, the only way you get to stay number one is to be number one.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Captain Lou Extravaganza on this Friday, June the 30th, 2023. Welcome aboard here. Captain Lou with you here in the chair as we get to set up for the beginning of, for many of you, will be a long 4th of July weekend. Maybe some of you are already scooting out for the whole week next week. For those of you, congratulations on being able to do that, as we get a great show planned for you today. A lot to talk about on this Friday, as the NBA free agency, for starters, is going to pick up here starting at about 6 o'clock Eastern time. And we'll find out who may be going where. A lot of big names out there that are eligible maybe to switch teams. We'll see if they do and what kind of impact they could possibly have on the team that they're going to potentially with potential championship run to try to unseat the Denver Nuggets as the NBA world champions. We'll talk a little bit about the NHL draft that took place over the last couple of days. Connor Bedard, no surprise, going to the Chicago Blackhawks. Is he a generational talent? We'll have to wait and see on that, but he definitely is going to be a difference maker for the Blackhawks, as they will now try to get back to the promised land after a nice run in the last decade with 3 Stanley Cup championships. So the Blackhawks and their fans are already planning on the victory parade in downtown Chicago. We'll see how long it takes for them to potentially get back to the Stanley Cup finals. We'll talk Red Wings hockey as well with their first round picks and a little bit more about the NHL. Major League Baseball, Herman got a perfect game for the New York Yankees the other day, and got kind of a mixed reaction afterwards. He's been in and out of trouble off the field and on the field, and he's kind of struggled, but he was able to do what 23 other people only have been able to do, and that is pitch a perfect game. So we will talk a little about that here down the road. And also the NFL gambling issues have crept up again. They don't know. I've got my reaction on it. Probably not what a lot of people want to hear, but I'll talk a little bit about that. As the NBA, the NFL, sometimes they're starting to get like Major League Baseball, can't get out of their way. But we'll talk a little bit about that later on, and then we'll close the show. We've got some exciting programming news to talk about here from the Captain Lou Sports Network, so we'll run through that for you as well. Again, our show today brought to you by MahlerBros.com. I invite you to check out their website. If you want to look good on the golf course, if you want to feel good on the golf course, you know what we say, if you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. That's MahlerBros.com. Check out their selection of golf shirts, T-shirts, you name it. They've got some cool swag with mugs and whatnot, coffee as well. Again, if you're going to go to that barbecue, even you want to look good that night with the 4th of July coming up, it's just the start of the summer. You got a lot of time to get that wardrobe that you want to look good on the golf course. That is MahlerBros.com. And when you're there, use the promo code BELLYUP for 15% off of your purchase. That is MahlerBros.com. And also, we're sponsored by Javi Coffee. If you want the greatest in instant coffee and you want something a little easier than using the pods and tasting better than gourmet coffee, look no further than JaviCoffee.com. They've got regular decaf, salted caramel, French vanilla, a great variety, and it's very simple. And while you're there, they've got some great deals going on. Also, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get 15% off of your purchase. And also, welcome to the Captain Lou Sports Network family for SeatGeek. Check out SeatGeek.com. You want to go to your next game. You want to get some tickets for the opener for Michigan or Michigan State, or potentially the Lions or whatever. You want to go watch a Tigers game, or anywhere you want to go to watch the Yankees. Check out SeatGeek.com, and when you're there, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. So it's that simple. The promo code right there at the bottom of the screen. We want to welcome SeatGeek to the Captain Lou Sports Network family, as they will get you hooked up, help you get hooked up for your concert or event you want to go to, or a ball game. Check out SeatGeek.com and use the promo code Captain Lou for 20% off of your purchase. As we mentioned, you can follow us on our social media. That is at the Real Captain Lou on Twitter, or follow the Captain Lou Extravaganza on Facebook. Send me an email, sweetlou1965@yahoo.com. And we also invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Captain Lou Sports Network, with a lot of things going on coming up on our network. We've got great shows that are archived there. You can see some awesome interviews that we've had lately, and a lot more to come. That is the Captain Lou Sports Network. So, all right, let's get going here with NBA free agency. It starts tonight, 6 o'clock Eastern time. A lot of shuffling going around. The big news yesterday that came out was James Harden. He opted in for his $36 million option this year, but right after that, he made it clear that he does not want to play for the Philadelphia 76ers next year. He wants out. I'm already hearing rumors that the Knicks and possibly the Clippers might be interested in his services. Who knows? It sounds like Houston is probably out. I don't see him going to the likes of Phoenix or the Lakers. I know Kendrick Perkins thinks the Lakers would be a good fit for him. Not sure on that, but we're going to now the games start. Free agency starts tonight at 6 o'clock. This is obviously a trade because Philadelphia owns his rights now for $36 million. It's kind of crazy is, he hasn't won a championship yet. And I know he's getting towards the twilight of his career, but he's still a heck of a ball player. He wants, obviously, the top dollar. This year, 1 year to go to wherever, and then he's going to try to maybe get that championship ring. Can he do it with the Clippers? I don't even know if they're going to keep Paul George or whatever. The Knicks could use him, but, how long is he going to be happy there? Is he going to be happy with that kind of, the game plan they have with the Knicks? I know they're more of a defensive-oriented team. What kind of begs the question with me, and I've talked about this with other guests, we had Sage Alvarez on, our NBA guru, and I've been on other shows and asked the same question. Okay, we've got guys that are going to be commanding $50 million towards the salary cap. 50, it's getting to that point. Anthony Davis has, they're already talking about August 4th. They can extend him for 3 years at like $178 million. The numbers are just mind-boggling. You got to navigate the cap. I mean, when do you decide, okay, enough is enough? How much is it worth it for the penalty from the salary cap for the luxury tax for starters? I mean, Kyrie Irving, he's probably going to, he's a free agent. Where is he going to end up? Do you honestly think that he's going to win a championship anywhere? There's talk that Kyrie may end up going to Phoenix maybe. They don't have enough basketballs to go around there with Kevin Durant and Booker and now Bradley Beal. How would he fit in there? I don't get that. I think Draymond's going to stay in Golden State. I think trading for Chris Paul, getting rid of Jordan Poole, freeing up some of that money, Draymond will stay there. I think he really likes it there. There was talk that he was possibly going to go to Sacramento, but they re-signed Harrison Barnes last night. So Sacramento's going to be out. I know there was a rumor floating around that, Detroit might throw a boatload of money at Draymond Green. As much as he is a Michigan guy, Saginaw, Michigan State, the whole bit, does a lot here in the state of Michigan. Why would he want to go as part of a rebuild towards the twilight of his career? I think if he re-ups with Golden State, I think that they can potentially make one more run at Denver. I don't still think they're as good as Denver right now. You know, he could still end up going to Los Angeles to be with LeBron and Anthony Davis. So many questions. The NBA is marketing it right. ESPN is throwing, they're going all aboard on this tonight. They're doing a 3-hour afternoon special on it before the deadline even commences at 6 o'clock, or the opening of free agency rather. Then they're doing another 2 hours tonight. It's amazing. They're getting up with the level of the NFL free agency when that started, and all the pomp and circumstance. Is it a lot of smoke being blown? I don't know. And again, I look at some of these players that are out there, the big names. Again, James Harden. Is he worth it? Is he worth chasing when he hasn't won a championship? I think he may have been to one final. Is he dependable throughout the playoff run? Is he going to stay healthy? What is he going to give you during the regular season? Kyrie Irving. I mean, here's a guy, he claims that he had a good time in Dallas, but he's not exactly been the world's greatest teammate. Is what he's going to want for a salary. He's probably going to want $45 million at least. Is that going to be worth going over the threshold, paying the luxury tax or whatever on free agency? Is that going to, what is that going to do? I don't know. I wonder about this. All this talk about, like with Damian Lillard, is he going to demand a trade? Or is he willing to go through another rebuild? They haven't been relevant in quite a while. They haven't won a playoff series in quite a while. If you sign somebody for $50 million a year or whatever, just to maybe make you the fifth best team in the conference, is that worth pushing all your eggs in one basket there? I mean, Miami's been conspicuously quiet the last few days. Are they going to make a splash with somebody? Would they entertain somebody like Kyrie or whatever? And then so many things to talk about. And again, is it worth it? You only get one championship. Now, I've said this before, and I will say this again. I love it when teams go for the now to try to win. You see so many teams that are banking on the future, accumulating draft picks, trading away their big stars at the deadline. But my question is it worth it in the long run? Does it pay off? The only sport that I've really seen it lately doing it like this has been Major League Baseball, when you've got the Houston Astros winning a couple of championships. I mean, the Reds are coming, but, can they hold it up for the whole year? I mean, Denver, they kind of built their franchise, but they've never been, rock bottom of the barrel like some of these teams are, like Detroit or Washington or Charlotte, or anybody that hasn't been relevant in years. I mean, Detroit hasn't won a playoff series or I don't even know if they won a playoff game in 15 years, let alone a playoff series, since they were one of the more dominant teams back in the 2000s. So it's been a while. So I don't begrudge teams going for the whole shebang, but at what cost? And if they, it's got to be smart. So it's going to be fun to watch. The free agency frenzy starts tonight, 6 o'clock. You won't be able to miss it if you turn on the Florida Network or Fox or wherever, Fox Sports. So keep tuned on that. It should be interesting to see. NHL Draft, we'll talk about that momentarily. But again, I want to remind everybody, when you're on the golf course or you're getting ready to go out to that summer party, I know it may be a little bit too late for 4th of July, but you still got a whole summer of barbecues and concerts and whatnot. You want to feel good when you're there. You want to be comfortable. You want to look good. Well, I've got just the answer for you, and that is MahlerBros.com. You're on the golf course, it's warm, you're thinking, all right, I want to feel good out there. I want to make it so I can really play well. MahlerBros.com. They've got a great selection of golf shirts, polos, t-shirts, you name it. They're sleek, they're comfortable, lightweight, and they've got different kind of designs. If you've got a more of a loud personality, you want to be seen from a little bit away, or more of a conservative look, MahlerBros.com. They'll make you look good. And when you look good, you feel good. You feel good, it may even help you play good. So check out MahlerBros.com. Use the promo code BELLYUP, 15% off of your purchase. And again, it's that simple. It's MahlerBros.com. They've got swag too, cool mugs. They've got different flavored coffees now that they are that they've come up with. So again, MahlerBros.com. Use the promo code BELLYUP for 15% off of your purchase. That is MahlerBros.com. NBA free agent, or the NHL draft. NBA free agency we just talked about. NHL draft was held on Wednesday and Thursday. 2 days, all 7 rounds, 2 through 7 anyways, were on Thursday. And of course, Connor Bedard, he was the first overall pick of the Chicago Blackhawks. They won the lottery. Some say it was rigged. I don't know if it was rigged or not, but it just seems like the rich get richer. Is he a generational talent? A lot of pressure on the young man, but he seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. Love his talent. Is he going to be a Connor McDavid, a Sidney Crosby, Steve Yzerman, whatever, a player that can lead you to 2 or 3 Stanley Cups over the next decade or so. It's going to be fun to watch the Blackhawks. It's I'm glad that he's going to be, I'm a little bit partial to the original 6 teams: Red Wings, Blackhawks, Canadiens, Maple Leafs. It's fun to see one of the original 6 teams get a talent like this. I will use a phrase that I normally don't like to use, and that is when a certain team is good, it's good for the league. But I think the Blackhawks being good will help. They've been down for a few years now. Not quite the drought as some of the other franchises have had to endure, like Phoenix or Arizona or whatever, or like Vancouver or whoever, teams that have not tasted a Stanley Cup. But this will help the Blackhawks. And they made a trade for Corey Perry as well. So the Blackhawks, they'll be relevant again. It's going to be fun to watch, see what kind of an impact Bedard has right away. I'm also looking to see what Fantilli will do. It's funny, Michigan guy getting drafted by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now he's got to go down to enemy territory in Ohio. But it'll be fun to see how he does with Colorado or Columbus as well. A couple of trades in the last couple of days. Really no big ones. If you're looking for a marquee name, Corey Perry is, though, going from the Lightning to the Blackhawks. That'll help him. He's a good locker room guy. And I think that's big for Chicago. That'll help them out. And the Red Wings and Edmonton Oilers made a big trade. Well, not a big trade, but an interesting trade. They got a big guy in Kostin, 6'3", 224 forward. And also they got Yamamoto in a trade for future considerations. I think most of this really is going to be more of a salary dump, or, they took him to help ease the salary cap situation for Edmonton. It was kind of a throw-in. He might be a good 4th-line player as well as Kostin, maybe a 3rd or 4th-line player. I like the Kostin pickup. I think he's big. Maybe he gets another chance. He's young. Both these guys are young. I don't know ultimately what the plans are for Yamamoto for the Red Wings, but I do like the trade. Future considerations, which may end up being a 6th or 7th round draft pick next year or whatever. So we'll have to wait and see what that transpires for the Red Wings. I like the Red Wings picks in the opening round of the draft, getting Nate Danielson, a big scoring center. Detroit needs another center. They're lacking in scoring punch right now from the centerman position behind Dylan Larkin. They need a good 2nd and 3rd line center. And I like Axel Sandin Pellikka. It's going to take me a couple of tries to make sure I get that right, but he's a good right-handed shot defenseman that Detroit needed. And I think they look at him potentially as a quarterback of their power play down the road, team him up with Mo Seider. I know a lot of folks were kind of dismayed here in the Detroit area that they were not players as far as a big trade. I know Democrat is looking like he wants to go to Detroit. He's from Ottawa. That's been the rumor. Or Kopechny from Philadelphia. It's still out there. Detroit still has plenty of room under the salary cap too. And so there's a lot of room left for salary cap for moves for a lot of teams with free agency coming up for the NHL. You look at some of the free agents that are available out there. The big names, of course, you got Patrice Bergeron. I know he's 37 years old. Tyler Bertuzzi. He had a big year for both Detroit and Boston. I know he wants about $7 to $8 million a year. Not sure if he's really worth that kind of loot, but it's something to keep an eye on. Michael Bunting from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Is somebody going to go after Phil Kessel? He's got the Stanley Cup pedigree. He's won 3 now. I don't know. Ryan O'Reilly from the Maple Leafs. Again, Corey Perry, he might opt out, whatever. Tarasenko from the Rangers. Is Jonathan Taves. What has he got left in the gas tank from the Blackhawks? So with the changing of the guard there in Chicago. So a lot of big names in free agency to look at coming up here in the weeks ahead, as now both the NHL and the NBA really get into their silly season with free agency coming up here for both leagues in the next couple of weeks here, as July 1st kicks off as tomorrow. And that means usually we can kind of sit back and watch the dominoes fall in both the NHL and the NBA. So, there you go. Major League Baseball, as we go on this free-for-all Friday, we're here. Welcome everybody to the Captain Lou Sports Network and the Captain Lou Extravaganza on this free-for-all Friday, June the 30th. Getting ready to start off a big 4th of July weekend, long weekend for a lot of you folks. I know you're going to be, a lot of you are off on Monday and Tuesday and potentially the whole week with the 4th of July in the middle of the week. We'll be on Monday, by the way, with a show kind of updating any free agency action that's gone on in both the NFL, or I'm sorry, the NBA and the NHL. So we'll be on at 10 o'clock Monday morning for another edition of the Captain Lou Extravaganza. So we invite you to stick around for that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, by the way, the Captain Lou Sports Network. A lot of great shows on our network over the past year. Great interviews from pro wrestling to pro football and pro basketball and everything in between. ACHA hockey with our ACHA Power Play, which we will kick that off again in the fall. That'll be, I think, our 7th season of doing that, 7th or 8th. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm really excited to bring that back here to the Captain Lou Sports Network. And as always, we're powered up, by the way, by Belly Up Sports. And check out our website, bellyupsports.com, for our complete list of podcasts. Some great shows we got on the network, and we're gaining more all the time, with especially with football season coming around, college and pro. Fantasy sports will be kicking up. I know we still have them for baseball. A lot of folks like fantasy baseball, but football's king when it comes to fantasy sports, and we've got a lot of shows geared towards that. So check out our network. That is the Belly Up Sports Network of podcasts, and also our articles on bellyupsports.com. The guys and gals do a tremendous job there with their articles covering everything in the world of sports and sports entertainment as well. So Major League Baseball, we had a perfect game the other day. Herman pitched it for the Yankees. 27 up, 27 down, 24th perfect game in Major League Baseball history. And it was a thing of beauty. He did well. Not the pitcher you would expect to throw a perfect game. He's had his issues this year off the field, or on the field especially. He got suspended earlier for 10 days or 10 games rather, for using an illegal substance on his pitching hand or in his glove or whatever. So he's had a strike against him there. And gosh, his outing before this, he got rocked against Seattle, but against Oakland, he was perfect. And it really, there wasn't, he didn't have to sweat much on this one, but he's got a mixed reaction from it. Whether you like him or don't like him, it's the 24th perfect game in Major League Baseball history, the 3rd in Yankees history, or I'm sorry, the 4th rather, or the 3rd one, or 4th one, I'm sorry. Don Larson in 1956, probably the most recognizable one, the most famous one, because it was in the World Series against the Dodgers. And then, of course, David Cohn and David Wells both had perfect games back in the late 80s. So 24th one in Major League history. We've had a lot of them with walks and base hits, or I'm sorry, walks and errors and whatnot. But this is a perfect one. And so there's been a lot that have gone to the last inning. the last out. Armando Galarraga. Anybody remember that one for our Tigers? A few years ago. Gosh, I think it's been over 10 years ago when should have been a perfect game, but the umpire had a brain fart right there on the last out. But congratulations to Herman for the perfect game. Not a lot of folks happy about it. He's not. We all know his off the field antics as well, with the suspension and then with the domestic violence. He may not be the best person in the world, but you know what? He got the perfect game, and for one night, he gets to make MLB history. His name will be in the Sports Hall of Fame as a perfect game pitcher. So congratulations to him, making the 24th most perfect game in Major League history. So just kind of a quick look at the standings in Major League Baseball. Cleveland, they've caught Minnesota. They had a chance to get back to 500 yesterday against the Kansas City Royals. They couldn't quite do it. They had the lead 2-0. Kansas City tied it up in the bottom of the ninth. They went to the 10th inning, and they got a stolen base of home to go up 3-2 in the top of the 10th. But Kansas City rallied to win 4-3, so they defeated Cleveland. So that leaves the Cleveland Indians and the Minnesota Twins on top of the AL Central, 2 games under 500, 40-42 as we're at the halfway point in the Major League season. Boston, just to kind of put it in perspective, they're kind of skating or sliding at the moment, if you will. They are 40-42. They're in last place in the American League East. So it's just one of those years. And, where, the Central Division just is a weak division. And, they're going to get one team out of that division to win. They're going to get in the playoffs. And you know what? You win your division, you deserve to be in. I get tired of the argument that says, you know what, if you got a bad record, you still shouldn't be in. This thing it cycles. There will be some years that the American League East is down. They may have one good team and the rest are garbage. And the Central Division will have 3 teams that are over 90 wins and only 1 gets in or 2 gets in. Every division, every sport, it's like that. It cycles. I mean, you look at the NFL. You had the NFC East. A couple of years ago, they were the worst division by far in all of professional football. Then last year, you had 2 teams with over 12 wins or over. I mean, every year's different. So, hey, if Cleveland can win the division, or if my Tigers can win the division with an 80-88 record, or 80-82 record, or whatever, 78-84, they win the division, they deserve to be in. The only reason I bring my Tigers up is they're only 4 games out of first. So with 10 games below 500, they split with the first place Texas Rangers out of the West in this 4-game stand. So congratulations to the Tigers for getting a split, as Torkelson hit a 3-run home. He had 2 home runs last night. So, and just want to kind of look at some of the leaders in the Major League Baseball. We all know about Shohei with 29 wins. He's or 29 home runs, I should say. He's on top of the major leagues with 29 home runs. I think he's tied for 69 RBIs right now, as we're the halfway point of the year. Great offensive year again for Shohei. His pitching he's 7-3. He's doing really well pitching. Not quite the outstanding year that a guy like Shane McClanahan is having right now with Tampa Bay, 11-1. With an ERA of 2.23, leading both categories right there. My early American League Cy Young Award winner. McClanahan's leading there. Luis Arias, 392. The 400 watch is on. He's close right now here in July, or as we go into July, coming up tomorrow. It's going to be so hard to maintain that. We get into the dog days of August. That's the watch is on. It's going to be fun to watch. He's a slap hitter. He'll get an occasional home run, hits for average. And for Miami, he's doing really well. I would like to see it. I'm not a naysayer that say it's not going to happen. I would love to see it. Records are made to be broken, and he's doing it the right way. It's kind of a good throwback to see that. Of course, remember the last 400 hitter was back in 1941, so it's been 82 years since that's happened with Ted Williams. So, I mean, I think the last probably the best opportunity for someone to do it was Tony Gwynn back in he was at 392, I believe, when the season was canceled in 94 because of the strike. And a lot of folks thought that he potentially could get to that 400 mark. So all we can do is speculate on that right now. The other one I wanted to bring up, kind of a new stat that we haven't seen in a while, really talked about, is Esteury Ruiz with 40 stolen bases leading the majors. And I think Acuna has 36 from the Braves. It's kind of put it in perspective. Stolen base is a lost art, but it's picked up a little bit. And we're at the halfway point. So he's on pace to maybe get 80 stolen bases. And for those of you that are, that have watched the game forever, like I have, you've been around since the 70s watching baseball or even before, what the single season stolen base records are. In modern times, I'm going to go by that. Obviously we've had some before 1900, but Rickey Henderson has the modern day stolen base record of 130 back in 1982. And the interesting stat with that was he attempted 172 stolen bases in 1982. And so he's got the record, a modern day record of 130. Then you got Lou Brock, who had 118 back in 1974. Then you got to go. Vince Coleman had quite the run back in the 80s. He had 110 and 85, 109 and 87. And then he had 107 and 86. So he had quite the run in the mid 80s. Then Ron LaFleur had 97 back in 1980. He had quite a run for the Tigers and the Montreal Expos back in the late 70s into the early 80s. Again, Rickey Henderson, over 100 stolen bases a couple of times. So he had 108 in 1983 and 100 in 1980. Omar Moreno. So if you want to, just to kind of give you a perspective on the stolen base records, let's say that Ruiz gets to 80, all right? That would put him in a tie for 63rd place for all-time single season records for stolen bases. And that would be like Eric Davis back in 1986 and Rickey Henderson in 85. So, yeah, he's got nowhere near the all-time record, but it's creeping its way back. Situational baseball, and it's fun to see. Love watching stolen bases. I think it's a cool way to – it's just a cool thing, and it's just an added way to manufacture runs. And I know that's what Major League Baseball is trying to do with with the changing of the rules, with the banning of the shift, and the bases maybe a hair bigger or whatnot. Situational baseball coming back a little bit. Not all about analytics. So whenever we can get something like this with the Arias shooting for 400 and Ruiz flirting with a potential big year for stolen bases, would love nothing more to see him get to from Oakland, give them something to cheer about. Maybe he can get upwards of 90 stolen bases, and just something different and something to watch out for in Major League Baseball. So, well, as we are into the second half hour of our show here today, again, welcome to the Captain Lou Extravaganza here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Want to talk a little bit about Javi Coffee, one of our sponsors here on the Extravaganza and the Captain Lou Sports Network. I know I'm a coffee drinker. I've got it right here in my Detroit Lions mug. I love instant coffee, like regular coffee. If you're an instant coffee fan, I want to talk to you about Javi Coffee. It's easier to use than pods. It's more tastier than gourmet, and 1 or 2 teaspoons or whatever you want, hot or cold. If you're a cold iced coffee person or a hot coffee type of person like me, it's easy. It's easy to use. Javi Coffee. Check out the website, javicoffee.com, and they've got regular decaf, salted caramel, French vanilla, you name it. And again, as it says on the top of the screen, use the promo code Captain Lou for 15% off of your purchase. That is javicoffee.com. They've got a lot of specials going on. So it's great tasting coffee. If you're a coffee drinker.com and use the promo code Captain Lou, and you can get 15% off of your purchase. It's that easy. And so check it out. I think you'll like it. That's javicoffee.com. All right, we're going to keep going here on the network. Again, welcome on this Friday, June the 30th, 2023, as we wind down the month of June. Summer is here. The weather's nice. we can get through the smoke from the Canadian wildfires here in the state of Michigan and the Midwest, be a little bit better. But hey, we'll take it. It's going to be a great weekend. It's just the start of a long holiday weekend, and I want to wish my son, whose birthday is tomorrow, a happy 24th birthday. God, where's the time gone, man? Holy cow. And I always remember on his birthday, good friends of mine, Dana and Robin Monette, their wedding anniversary. So wish them the best as well. Want to talk a little bit about the NFL and their gambling issues, or the rules, or whatever, the lack of being able to follow them. It's creeping its ugly head and creating a divide here in the sports world. For those of you that believe maybe the rules are archaic, I get it. We've got a couple of more people that were suspended from the Indianapolis Colts and consequently released. Of course, the first wave hit earlier this year with a bunch of guys from the Detroit Lions, including Jamison Williams getting 6 games. Quintez Cephas as well. He got suspended indefinitely and got cut. It affected the Washington Commanders. What I want to do real quickly is I just want to show you the rules. And I'm going to see if I can bring them up here on if I can. Let's see here. I thought I had it. Talk to me here. All right, here we go. I just want to bring this up on our screen here and go through the rules real quick. As you can see, okay, I didn't mean to do that. All right, let's go with the rules. See if I can scroll down real quick. They look pretty simple to me. I mean, don't bet on the NFL. All right. Don't gamble at your team facility while traveling for a road game or staying at a team motel. Don't have someone bet for you. Don't share team insider information. Don't enter a sports book during the NFL playing season, and don't play fantasy football. Seems pretty simple, right? Don't you think? I think it does. Here's my issue with it, okay? And the NFL rules might be archaic. I understand. So I don't know. I don't feel sorry for the players. Everybody's got a set of rules. The NFL rules on gambling might be archaic, and some may argue, you know what, they take the gambling money from DraftKings, FanDuel, wherever. They're maybe in bed with them. Well, until the rules change, follow the rules. I hear the whining from ex-players and all these talking heads. If you can't follow the rules, then I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like the rules, then don't play the game. It's that simple. I mean, it's not that hard to follow. You're making millions and millions of dollars. If you're not smart enough to follow these 6 rules, I don't know what to tell you. Play by the rules. I can't gamble at my workplace. How difficult is that? It's right there. If you can't follow the rules, then I got no sympathy for you. There's 6 simple rules. They may be archaic, but they're your rules that you have to follow. And I don't feel sorry for them. Quit with the excuses. Don't bet at your facility. How hard is that? Don't bet on football. Don't play fantasy football. You're going to be making millions and millions of dollars. Why are you risking it? I'm just flabbergasted by it. I may not agree with all the rules at my workplace, but they're my rules. I have to live by them. And so should they. Until they're changed, quit belly aching, wisen up. Follow the rules. It's that simple. I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't have any sympathy for these people suspended. It's that simple. You don't gamble. It's their rules. Live by them. And quit apologizing for these players that got suspended. If they're not smart enough to get people around them to help them with these rules, then okay. They're there for a reason. They're there to help with the integrity of the game. Whether you agree with them or not, they're the rules. Follow them. For God's sakes, it's not that hard. Wow. All right, that's my rant. I had to get that off my chest. I watched this morning on a couple of shows, and it just, everybody's making excuses for these players. And I'm just beside myself with it, thinking, they have an opportunity to make millions upon millions of dollars. You can't go without betting on games for football. That's common sense. It's called integrity, insider trade. There's a reason why they're doing that. But yet these guys think they're impervious to it. No. And you would think they would have learned from some of these other guys, and we continue to see it. Only the NFL can they want you to get away with that stuff. It's just mind-blowing to me. And so follow the rules. Until they're changed, follow them. They may be archaic, but they're there for a reason. And they're not going to change because a handful of players don't want them. And, if you're naive to think that, they're going to, then I don't know what to tell you. They can get whoever they want to pay the money to be part of the NFL. Follow the rules. And the one excuse that really blew me away this morning, I was listening to Sam Acho, and I'm like, or Emmanuel Acho, whoever it was that they had on ESPN this morning. And he was crying because, they got to go to these meetings. They got to go to player meetings. They got to go to position meetings. They got to do this. They got to do that. And oh my goodness, they got to go to a meeting to learn about how to handle their money and what not to gamble on or when to gamble or whatnot. Cry me a river, will ya? How difficult is that? Okay, then don't go. Don't play the game. Go get a real job. I'm not taking away with how hard you work to get there, but that's just it. You worked hard to get there. Why jeopardize it because you want to bet $50 on a game, another NFL game or whatever? Don't bet in season. How hard is that? Cut the crap where it's too difficult to learn how to do that. Learn the rules. I'm so tired of that. Ignorance of the rules is no excuse, man. I'm tired with it. I'm tired of it. Wow. I don't get it. This blows me away, man. Just blows me away. Wow. Okay, I got that off of my chest here. Again, welcome to the Captain Lou Extravaganza on the Captain Lou Sports Network as we wind down here on this Friday. Hey, want to take a moment to welcome another partner to the Captain Lou Extravaganza on the Captain Lou Sports Network. That is SeatGeek. I know you guys like to go to concerts or ball games. You got all kinds of games coming up too. You might want to travel to a game like my son and I are thinking about maybe going down to an SEC game this year, maybe Alabama and Arkansas or whatever. I know where I'm going to go to get my tickets, and that's SeatGeek.com. They've got great prices, and why don't you check it out? There's a concert you want to go to. Well, while you're there, make sure, here's a no-brainer for you. For your first purchase, use the promo code Captain Lou. It's on the bottom of the screen, all one word. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. I'm into saving money. I don't know about you, but that is SeatGeek.com, and you'll get great seats there, awesome prices. And again, when you're there, use the promo code Captain Lou. It's that simple, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. That is SeatGeek.com. We welcome them to the Captain Lou Sports Network, and the family of shows here on the Captain Lou Extravaganza is one of them. So again, welcome to SeatGeek, and again, use the promo code Captain Lou when you're at checkout. When you get those tickets you want to go see for your first purchase here on SeatGeek.com. Use the promo code Captain Lou for $20 off your purchase. It's that simple. And let's welcome them to the Captain Lou Sports Network family. All right. Again, we want to tell you that we are powered up by Belly Up Sports. Check out the lineup of podcasts that we have. 1420 Sports Bar. No credentials required. The Corner Booth. A great show for fantasy sports Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. Belly Up's got a wonderful cast of characters here. We cover everything in the world of sports and entertainment, as well as our articles on bellyupsports.com. We're going to close here today. Got some exciting news for you. We kind of teased it all week, but a little update on the Captain Lou Sports Network programming, if you will. First of all, I want to tell you that we are going to be on Monday, and probably that's going to do it. We may be on Wednesday, but after that, we're going to take the rest of July off. We've got some family things I got to attend to throughout the month of July, but that's one of the reasons. The other reason is we got a couple of shows we're going to tweak a little bit here with the Captain Lou Extravaganza. Starting in August, we're going to kind of more gear our show towards Michigan sports. Here, being in the Michigan area, we want to kind of capture a little more of a niche with the Detroit teams, the Michigan teams. We're going to use a little more emphasis on the Big Ten and also on the NFL, like with the NFC North and, the NHL and NBA divisions that the Pistons and the Red Wings are in, Major League Baseball, the AL Central, and that kind of thing. We're going to also do more colleges in the Michigan area. We're going to get guests on, personalities that cover the sports, coaches, maybe some players, ex-players, but we're really excited about that. So kind of want to let you know about that. We're really excited to bring that. That's going to start in August, the first week of August when we get back. Little vacation time for yours truly coming up towards the end of the month as well. We always use on the network that last week or so of July to get away. We're going to go up to the lake in northern Michigan and just kind of veg out. But it's going to be a little bit of work there too, because we also have another show that we're going to debut here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. And I think you're going to like it. We're going to call it the Captain Lou's Champions of Sports History. What that entails is we're going to pick a calendar year each month, and we're going to get at least 2 or 3 shows each month on champions of that particular sports history of that year. For example, 1984, the Detroit Tigers winning the World Series, the Boston Celtics, the NBA championship, whoever, the Edmonton Oilers winning, the Washington Redskins or San Francisco, whoever wins in that year. We're going to gear our show. We're going to get guests on to talk about it. Players, ex-coaches that coached during that time frame, players who played on those championship teams, sports personalities that covered the teams during those heydays. We're going to go 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, maybe 60s if we can find, it's going to be stretching a little bit. We'll get some historians, but we're going to pick a year each month to do that. And we're going to get you involved as well by, having us pick a year that you want us to highlight each month. So we're going to start that in August. Really excited to bring that to you. Captain Lou's Champions of Sports History. And we're going to start that in August. And so really looking forward to bringing that to you. It's going to be part of the Captain Lou Sports Network here on YouTube. So another reason for you to subscribe to our channel to get that exclusive content right there on the Captain Lou Sports Network. And of course, all those shows, as all of our shows, will be available podcast style on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We'll have those available. So really excited to bring you that show. It's going to be added to our network. We're going to still have our ACHA Power Play that will be starting back up around September 10th, rather, after Labor Day. The teams start getting ready, playing games. Practice is starting up for the ACHA. The road to St. Louis starts in September, and we'll have all the guests that we normally have on there, and even more. We're going to emphasize more on trying to get players on as well. So we got so much going on this fall. It's go time for us here on the network with my play-by-play I do for high school and for college hockey, and then with the shows here. This is kind of my slower time, if you will, here on the network. So, and I use July to kind of charge up one last time, and especially this year, recovering from surgery that I've had on my Achilles and my foot. It's given me time to do some morning shows here to kind of, just keep in tune with everybody. It's been a lot of fun. But once August starts, we'll be back to going on our evening shows, our primetime shows, and obviously we'll keep you in tune with that on our social media platforms, which include at The Real Captain Lou on Twitter, the Captain Lou Extravaganza on Facebook. And again, drop us a line on email, sweetlou1965@yahoo.com. So we got a ton going on. Can't wait to bring that to you again with our new show, the Captain Lou's Champions of Sports History, coming up here in August. And we will debut that. And again, with our Captain Lou Extravaganza, that's not going anywhere. We're going to emphasize it more on Michigan sports. The teams that play the Michigan sports, like, for example, if the New Orleans Saints are playing the Detroit Lions, we'll try to get someone from the Saints or whatever. But we're going to gear it towards Michigan sports, a rundown of everything in the Big Ten, all the sports in the Big Ten, the GLIAC, the MAC, you name it, and also all the pro teams. And throw in a little bit of high school. I do my high school highlight show as well. So we got a lot going on. It is like just once we get started, it's like, boom, here we go. And we don't let up from around the middle of August until the end of the beginning of April. It is the full court press, if you will. And so that kind of gives you an idea of what we do here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. So we got so much coming up. It's an exciting time, and it's what we love to do. And again, can't wait to bring all that to you. So we're going to take the month of July. We'll be on next week, but after that, we're going to take the rest of July off, just kind of giving you an idea of what's going on here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. All right, that's going to do it here on the Captain Lou Extravaganza on this Friday, June the 30th. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. For those of you that are going to have the 4th of July week off or the long weekend, please be safe. If you're in Michigan, remember, starting tomorrow, you can't have that phone in your hand when you're driving. Be safe about it. Hands-free is the way to go. Be smart. Keep your eyes on the road. Don't text, man. It's not worth it. We want you around to see all of our new shows coming up in August. We want you to be able to celebrate the 4th of July the right way with the barbecues and whatnot. Be smart, be safe, and have fun. You know, we want you back bigger and better than ever, like we're going to be here throughout the rest of 2023 and beyond. So, again, have a great 4th of July weekend, everybody. And, thanks for joining us here today. For those that have watched, enjoy the free agency frenzy if that's your thing in the NBA starting tonight. I know there's going to be some big stuff going on. We'll be on Monday to talk about it at 10 a.m. Eastern time for sure. And we'll give you our predictions then on how many hot dogs Joey Chestnut's going to eat on July 4th with the hot dog eating contest. So, all right, that's going to do it here. Thanks again for joining us on the Captain Lou Extravaganza. This reminder, keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving. But as always, keep your minds open. We'll see you next time here on the Captain Lou Extravaganza right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. So long.